Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems, or to be more precise, the data sufficiency problems for GMAT out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 12th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You should be able to find it at mba.com. And if you're still working with the 11th edition, if you still have the old edition, it is time that we move up in the world. The composition of the exam has changed a little bit, and the questions that they've selected in this book are a lot of them actually are new. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you're going to find on page number 277, data sufficiency number 47. Let's take a look at it. Turn to the page and read the problem with me. It says, if two floors in a certain building are 9 feet apart, alright, so we have two floors. Here is the first floor, here is the second floor, and they're 9 feet apart is what we are told so far. How many steps are there in a set of stairs that extends from the first floor to the second floor of building? So apparently there is a stairs that's going from there, from right here, to the second floor, and our job is to tell them how many steps there are. Well, that's quite simple and straightforward, as you can clearly see from the picture here. In order to figure out how many steps there are, we just need to know how high each step is. Presumably each step is of uniform height. That's how it is usually in the stairs. So if I know the height of a step, we can divide the 9. For example, if you tell me that each step is 1 foot high, every time I take a step on the stairs, I rise by 1 foot, then I will have to take 9 steps. That's all it is. So we know the height of the difference from the first floor to second floor is 9 feet. We just need to know the height of this one step. That's what it is. Let's see if they give us. Oh, there you go. First statement. Let's take a look at the statements here. Statement 1. Since this is a data sufficiency problem, the very first thing we should do is write down A, D, B, C, E. First statement tells us that each step is 3/4 of a foot high. Each step is 3/4 foot high. Well, that's easy, as I told you before. In my example, I had used 1 foot because it was easier to use, but that's all it is. Since it is 9 feet, the whole length is 9 feet, and we are told that each step from here to here, we are told, is 3/4 of a feet. Therefore, we just divide that by 3/4, and that will give us a number of steps. And that's it. We are not going to actually do it out because there will be no bloody point in it, because we don't actually have to tell them how many steps there are exactly, because here these questions are called data sufficiency. All we have to determine is whether or not we have enough data to be able to answer the question, and the answer here is yes. We can easily figure out the number of steps here. The first statement does provide sufficient data. That tells us that the correct answer, whatever it is, cannot be B, C, or E. It has to be either A or D. If it turns out that the second statement also provides enough information by itself to determine the number of steps that are required to go from first floor to second floor, then in that case the answer would be D. We'll see. Let's see if the second statement is also provides sufficient data or not. The second statement tells us that each step is 1 foot wide, not high. Oh, you got to read carefully. And of course it would have to be wide because, as I have told you many times before, if you watch any of the previous clip, I'm already up to 47. If you watch any of the previous 46, I have on a numerous occasion reminded people that the information in the two statements are always consistent. If the height of the step in the first statement was given to you as 3/4 of a foot, and in the second statement they tell you something in a very convoluted way, but if you analyze it, at the very end, you should find that the height of the step in the second statement also turns out to be 3/4 of a foot. It does not change. If the first statement just told us that each step is 3/4 of a foot high, Second statement goes on to say each step is 1 foot, and you should already know even before you finish reading it that it cannot be high. They're not going to say high. Second statement is not going to say each step is 1 foot high, because they'll be contradicting the two statements, because you already told me it's 3/4 foot high. So it must be something else. I have to read that last word. It says it's 1 foot wide. In the second statement, they tell us that it is 1 foot wide. They tell us that the distance from here to here is 1 foot. This is the second statement. That was the first statement. Each step is 1 foot wide. Well, that's nice to know. It does warm the cockles of my heart, but it really doesn't do us any good. Knowing how wide each step is, it's not going to do us any bloody good in figuring it out how much I raise my body each time I take one step. That's what we have to figure out here, because we're trying to go from here to here. Knowing how wide that step is does us no good at all. It is a worthless information. Second statement is not going to be able to help us in determining how many steps we need to take in order to go from the first floor to second floor. There is your first floor, and there is your second floor. And to go from here to here, knowing how wide that step is, it's not going to help us. We need to know how high it is. Second statement does not tell us that. So second statement is worthless. That tells us that the answer is not D, but rather A. That's all. That's it. We are done. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, go to my website and send me an email. You can go to www.prep4GMAT or keshwaniprep.com and send me an email. Alright? Thank you. I tutor over the telephone. I also tutor over the internet via Skype and of course in person. Thanks.